Weird sciencey facts that boggle my mind. Slurm could soon be a real thing. Kinda. We all have a few truths we hold to be self-evident. E. coli is bad, vanilla is good, and plastic is bad, for the environment at least. But recently, some scientists decided that they wanted to turn all of those truths, or at least two of them, upside down. They said, you know what, E. coli's been the bad guy for a long time. Maybe it's time he gets a win. Then they did some mad scientist shit. They genetically engineered E. coli like little tiny Frankenstein's monsters, and they eventually built genetically engineered plastic-eating E. coli bacteria. But it gets weirder. You see, plastic-eating bacteria isn't exactly new, and you don't need to genetically modify them to do it. The bacteria, Rhodocus ruber, which I'm incredibly confident I just said correctly, is a natural bacteria that eats plastic in very, very tiny amounts, but it does eat and digest plastic. Which is cool and exciting, but unfortunately they don't do it at any rate that would even come close to tackling our plastic problem. Nonetheless, the fact that there's bacteria in nature that eat plastic means that their genetically engineered plastic-eating E. coli brethren is not quite as impressive as initially it sounded, right? But I told you it got weirder, and it does. Because the genetically engineered E. coli, shit vanilla. That's how the vanilla part tied in. They turn acids in the plastic into vanillin and vanillin. And vanillin is the vanilla flavor of vanilla. Now, this research was published in 2021, so it is brand new by science standards. So knowing if, how, and when these vanilla crapper candy wrapper snackers will ever be an economically and environmentally viable solution to our plastic problem is still a long ways off. And whether that vanillin will ever be able to be FDA approved for human consumption is another question we don't have answers to yet. But the fact that scientists have created real-life microscopic plastic-eating queen slurm worms, and that one day those little slurm worms could be pecking away at the garbage patch in the ocean and shitting out the secret ingredient in Grandma's homemade Christmas cookies, well, that is pretty mind-boggling.